Is it true that Major Tim Peake flew to the International Space Station to get away from Adele's album and Star Wars?
Maybe so.
It's the only reason why he wanted to get into space. So, Jamie Kelwick, has a big film been released this week?
I think it has, and probably the biggest film of the year, maybe the biggest film of the decade. Probably the biggest film in the last 20 years. Star Wars The Force Awakens, Episode 7 of the franchise, which many fans probably didn't think was ever going to happen until Disney bought the Star Wars franchise off George Lucas for $4 billion. And I think they're going to get their money back because it's already taken over 100 million in the US in one day alone. Besides taking about 170 million worldwide as well, so it's only well on its way to being one of the biggest films of all time. Are you a Star Wars fan, James?
You see, the question is, have you ever seen Star Wars? To which there are two answers to that. Mine would be no.
Very poor.
Never watched it.
Now, I'm 43 years old, as you know, and this is one of the first films I ever remember going to see. Back in 1977, I'd had just turned 5, and it basically ignited my love for film, and so I've been a Star Wars fan ever since, and I've grown up with these guys. I was disappointed, like everybody else, with the prequel trilogy, especially Episode 1 with the appalling Jar Jar Binks. That's my opinion. Other people might actually like him, but I'd like to argue with anybody who does. So I was expecting quite a lot from this, and when I sat down to watch it on Thursday, I was a little bit apprehensive. I was thinking, is it going to be as good as is it going to be as good as I hope? Is it going to be as good as I dreamed the first Episode 1 was going to be when that came out in 1999? And the good news is it is. J.J. Abrams has done an absolutely outstanding job. And Kathleen Kennedy, who's the producer and now the head of Lucasfilm and taken over from George Lucas, is the woman behind the Indiana Jones films, E.T., worked with Steven Spielberg, and done loads and loads of different things. A very, very experienced producer. And you can tell they've really thrown a lot of money into this. They've done away with all of the extra CGI that they did with the prequel trilogy, so they've actually gone back to people in costumes and actual sets, built sets. So there's a full-size Millennium Falcon there. There's there's all the bases are actually look real, and it is absolutely superb. You get, as soon as that Star Wars logo comes on the screen and the music starts, which we've just heard from John Williams, I had that little that feeling in the pit of my stomach, thinking, wow, this is back, this is Star Wars, this is Star Wars as I want it to be. And the great thing is, it continues on the story from Return of the Jedi. It picks up about 20 or 30 years later. Luke Skywalker has vanished, and we've got the rise of the First Order, which has replaced the Empire, and we've got a little bit of a clip.
Who are you? I'm no one.
I was raised to do one thing, but I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it.
So if you heard there was Harrison Ford coming back as Han Solo. You also have Carrie Fisher coming back as Princess Leia, Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, and they're all trying to find Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill's character, who's disappeared after an incident. What happened at he became a Jedi trainer, and he was trying to bring the Jedi back to the solar system, and it is really good. The First Order are fantastic. There's a brand new villain called Kylo Ren who is really vicious and up there with a great Darth Vader performance as well. I think he's going to be a really key villain for the upcoming new trilogy. We're going to get a Star Wars movie every single year for the next 4 or 5 years, to be honest. Next year there's one called Rogue One. They're doing little individual stories and then they're continuing in the saga. So that's going to be the next big one, which is coming out next summer, and that's all about how they found the Death Star plans. But the old characters are back. The new cast members are very good. 2 British actors as well, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, who are very good as Rey and Finn, are the 2 lead characters. And there's also got Oscar Isaac in there as the crack X-Wing pilot. It is just really, really good fun. It's a really good adventure. And the good thing is, if you've not seen it, if you've not seen any of the trilogy, you can go and see this, actually. If you've not seen any of the Star Wars movies, you can still go and enjoy this as a really good, old-fashioned action-adventure movie. I'm going to give it a big 4 stars, a big 5 stars, I should say. And it leaves a lot of questions unanswered, but you know they're going to be answered in Episode 8 and Episode 9. And Star Wars is back.
Is there a danger, though? I mean, I appreciate that you're a fan of Star Wars, that you enjoy the whole thing, the whole franchise, if you like. I mean, when it first started in 1977, nobody would have called it a franchise back then. No. But is there a danger that with 4 or 5 still to come, that the whole magic can be watered down in the favour of chasing the Yankee dollar and repaying that $4 billion?
I mean, it's working with the Marvel movies. I mean, we're getting 2 or 3 Marvel movies a year, and people are still going to see them. That superhero thing is still really, really big business, and we are going to be seeing a lot of franchises that are coming back and expanding over the next few years. But I think with Star Wars, you've got that core base, and you're always going to go. It's a worldwide thing, and it's a thing that's been around for 40 years now. And I think you can never have too much Star Wars. It's the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoons, the Star Wars Rebel cartoons. They're on about doing a TV series. Disney are going to exploit it as much as they can, because, as you say, $4 billion, it is a lot of money, but I think Star Wars is back, and Star Wars is back really well back now. And I think if you are a fan, if you've probably already seen it, but if you're on tender hooks after seeing what the prequels did, don't worry. Star Wars is back, and it's a big 5-star back.
Excellent, Jamie. Thank you very much.